Hello everyone and welcome back to my crafting world. This is Anna. I would like to share a bag that I made with you guys. It's a large handbag. I was in the mood to make a bag, and I'm sure there's tutorials out there, but I knew what size I wanted it, so I just did the measurements and figured out how to make one. So this is what I have made. This measures 7 inches tall by 6 inches wide, and on the top it's just a little bit wider because it does taper down. So let me tell you what I did. I made the handles. It's short. It's a handbag. It's not a shoulder bag, so the handles are short. And I die cut both ends, and then I put a strip of the paper in the center. And this is the front. I did put a little pocket on there, and yeah, so my circle isn't very straight, but it does have a gusset. It is small, but you know, typically they are small, and it does close with a magnet. And on the top for my closure, I use this beautiful bling piece that I got from Sherry. And at the bottom, I just made a cluster of flowers and I stickled them up. And it's like a corner die, so I use that. I believe it's Sizzix. And this bow, it was a button that Sherry gave me, and I just cut off the shank and put it on the center there. And this beautiful dangle, you guys sent me this dangle and I just love it. So all I did for this one was I took off one of the charms, which was the little locket one with the pink rose in the center, and I added this one. I also got that one from Sherry. Everything else I left the same because I thought it matched great. I mean, it's just a perfect match. So when I die cut these edges, it leaves these tiny little bows. Those are the negative pieces. So I just took them and I put them on the front, and I put some little drills, diamond dots right in the center. Those are the smallest things I could find. You know, I want you to know my daughter is working on a diamond painting right now, and it has some pink in there. And I told her, can I have 5 of the pink diamond drills? And she said, well, what if I need them? I said, we always have drills left over. And she says, yeah, but if I need them? I said, you know what? If you need them, I'll just tear them off the project I'm working on. So those were a little bit of work to get. And that's all I did for the front. And then on the side, nothing on the sides. And in the back, I just, you know, put some more flowers on there, and I put some flat back pearls in the center, and then nothing on the bottom. So this is, and I did go ahead and cover the inside since I was using white paper. I went ahead, and it does have to close with Velcro, and I went ahead and used a paper from a different paper pad to line the inside because I didn't want to use this gorgeous paper on the inside. I wanted to save as much paper as I could, the Mente paper. So let me tell you what paper I used. I used the Mente Beauty in Bloom. I used spun sugar for the inking around the edges, and then for the blue flowers I used the peacock feathers. So those are the 2 inks that I used. And I just love my little bag because it is a wonderful, great size. I love it. So that is what I used. And let me tell you that I'm going to go ahead and make one with you guys because this is big. This is a big size, and I love it. So just in case you haven't seen one, I mean, I've seen the square ones, but I wanted mine a bit more tapered the way a handbag would be. And I am just in love with this bag. All right, guys, let me show you what you will need to make this beautiful large handbag. I used 2 7 by 7.5 pieces of cardstock. I also cut 2 that are 4 by 8, 1 that is 4 by 6. On the 4 by 6, on the 4-inch side, which is the short side, I scored at 1 inch on one end, and then I scored at 1/2 inch on each side. That's all the scoring I did there. And then for the 4 by 8, this is the top of the bag and this is the bottom. So what I did was score at 1/2 inch all the way around. Okay, 1/2 inch and then 1/2 inch. So then I brought it back to the 4-inch side. On the 2-inch score line, I brought my ruler in, and this doesn't have to be exact, guys. So I scored down to 3 inches. At the 2-inch mark, which is the halfway point, I scored up to the 3-inch mark. And then with the 7 by 7.5, I didn't score anything but the top. Okay, so this is my top, this is my bottom. 7.5 inch side, or I'm sorry, this is the 7-inch side. So just score this one at 1/2 inch on the top. Okay, that's how you know it's your top, because it's the 7-inch side. You score 1/2 inch on the top. So you flip it back over to the bottom, and on your bottom, I marked it at 1/2 inch on both sides. So I put a little mark right there on the 1/2 inch, and then put a little mark on the 6.5 inch. After I did that, I brought it over to my little line here, and I'm going to score from this 1/2 inch mark up to this corner right there. Okay, so line up your little corner, and then the 1/2 inch mark, and then just score down. And that does get a little not distorted, but it does get a little bent, but that does not matter. And we're going to do the same for this one. Put my score line on that 1/2 inch mark, my corner on the other side, and score down. I'm going to score up because for me it's a little easier. Okay, and that's all we do to this. You're going to do this 2 times. You're going to do this one 2 times. This is your bottom. You're going to do the bottom 1 time. That is all the scoring that I did. I did do some cutting. On this one, on your bottom, you don't do anything but burnish. That's all you do to the bottom. These are your sides. You're going to do this 2 times. For your top, you are going to cut this little square right here. That little square, we're going to cut it out. But I'm going to angle this a little bit and then just cut straight down. Okay, again, we're going to cut this down and angle this one right there. And then for this one, we're just going to go ahead and cut, you know, tabs. These become tabs like that. And you can just cut straight across. I don't always do that. So this is all we're going to do to this one. So remember, you do this one 2 times. And then for this is either the front or the back. This score line that we scored, we're going to cut that off. Just cut it off. So you hardly cut anything on the top. I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to cut this line off. And that is all the cutting and scoring I need to do. I'm going to burnish all my pieces, except this little line right there. I'm not going to burnish that one, but I'm going to burnish everything else. I've burnished everything, and I did lie. I am going to trim this down just a little bit, just so it doesn't stick out that side right there. Okay. So what we're going to do next is go ahead and put our bag together. These are the sides. Okay, remember this is your top. I'm going to glue the tabs to the inside. I'm going to glue the front and the back to this right here, all the way to the score line. Just don't go over, and I am going to glue this right here. And then I am going to take my next side, and I am going to glue this one down to this end right here, making sure that all my score marks match up. I have glued all my pieces on, and I did notice right here at the bottom that when I fold this is going to come down just a smidge. So I'm going to go ahead and trim that so that there are no kind of, gaps. Now I am going to glue my bottom to my bag. Okay, I am going to go ahead and trim these so that there is less bulk. So there is the bottom. I'm going to glue it down right here from edge to edge. At this point, if you're going to layer the inside, you can layer everything except this one. Cannot do the bottom because we still need to glue on the rest of the tabs. I'm going to start with this tab right here. I am going to glue it to this end. And this is where our bag comes together. If you're going to layer the inside, I would suggest doing it now because it's easier. I'm going to wait because I'm still undecided what paper I am going to use. There is our tapered handbag, and it's very large. I love that. So at this point you have a choice. You can either, these I put on there just so that it would be stronger. So you can either fold them in or you can fold them out. It's up to you how you want to have these tabs, if you want to have them in or out. So if you have them out, you'll have that little decorative edge. I want mine in, and since these are tapered, the edge is tapered, I'm going to cut just a little bit more, not much, just a little bit more, because it seems like it's hanging on that corner. Okay, I have glued my tabs in, and if you lined up all your score marks, correctly, you'll have an even transition from corner to corner. This score line is just so your bag will kind of fold in. You don't want it to fold all the way down, but it can at least fold in a little bit. So that's why I put that on there. Now we're going to work on the handles. All right, here we go. I have cut 2 pieces for the handle, and this is 1 1/4 by 8 1/2. And I did have an edge punch that I thought was really cute on here. These are bows, so I thought that was kind of cute. So I cut 2 of them, and then I put a strip of paper, designer paper, on the center there. So, and for my closure, I cut a strip of paper or cardstock that is 1.5 by 4.5, and I scored it at 3/4 of an inch from the edge, and then I scored it at 1.25 from this edge. I did go ahead and paper my bag, and this is the outside of the bag, and I inked the edges, and there's the bottom, here's the side, and on the inside I used a different paper because I didn't want to waste this gorgeous paper on the inside. So I went ahead and used some paper that I thought would match. So for my handles, the reason that they're short is because this is a handbag, it's not a shoulder bag. So I am going to glue this right there. Oh, how cute is that? Okay, so I'm gonna glue this right there, but before I do that, I am going to go ahead and glue down my closure. Now for my handles, now that I know where my closure is at, I can put these down accordingly. So I'm gonna start with the back. I'm gonna put these down right next to the, I'm guessing about 1/2 inch away from the closure. There you go, guys. Really simple. I didn't tell you what size I cut the mats because honestly I just cut it the way I angled the bag itself, and then these are, you know, just 1/4 of an inch smaller than the piece that's on here. And yeah, that is it, guys. This is going to be so pretty once it's finished. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will talk to everyone later. Y'all have a good day, guys.